It's a pleasure to be with you to introduce the newest edition of the Full Option Science System, FOSS Next Generation, for grades 6 to 8. I'd like to first introduce the FOSS Sales and Support Team from School Specialty and Delta Education. Randy Morris and Kathy LaRossi are the South Carolina FOSS Sales Representatives. Wayne Goodrich from Columbia is the Director of Sales for the Southeastern and Central U.S. Adrian Morris is the FOSS Product Manager, and Ginger Davis, the FOSS Professional Learning Lead for South Carolina. Kip Bisignano is the National FOSS Curriculum Specialist, former classroom teacher, and District Science Coordinator. FOSS is developed by a team of science educators and scientists at the Lawrence Hall of Science on the campus of UC Berkeley, in collaboration with thousands of teachers across the country. FOSS continues to evolve to meet the shifts and trends in science education. FOSS is a research-based science program that has been enlightening the minds of students to science and engineering here in South Carolina and in classrooms around the globe. The Next Generation edition will fully support South Carolina teachers as a core science program for implementation of the 2021 South Carolina College and Career Ready Science Standards, and develop a new generation of future-ready students. During this presentation, we walk through the FOSS Review resources and the program's philosophy, so you can see how FOSS is aligned to the South Carolina College and Career Readiness Standards, as well as to the ways students learn best. You'll see how FOSS integrates 3D learning and assessment, so all students work and think like scientists and engineers. Finally, you will hear about and browse the FOSS comprehensive package of science equipment, text, and technology that empowers educators to develop South Carolina's future-ready students. Let's jump in and see how FOSS supports educators to inspire all students with meeting all standards. This is the recommended scope and sequence of FOSS courses for grades 6 to 8 to address the South Carolina College and Career Readiness Standards. The middle school courses meet all state standards by the end of 8th grade. The modularity of the program allows you to customize the scope and sequence of courses for your needs. The courses build on the experiences and core ideas in the K-5 program to prepare students for rigorous high school science. Short courses, such as Heredity and Adaptation and Waves, include 3 to 4 investigations and take 5 to 6 weeks to complete. Long courses include 8 to 10 investigations and take 9 to 11 weeks to complete. The FOSS Critical Pathway will support districts in meeting the standards in the time they have to implement these modules. Due to the arrangement of the South Carolina performance expectations, crossover investigations are recommended to meet the grade level standards. Wave Models was developed to specifically address the 6th grade South Carolina standards focused on waves. Earth History is primarily used at grade 6, but Investigation 8 is a research project that addresses grade 7 performance expectations. In each module, students ask and answer questions about phenomena and solve problems through engineering design challenges. Students investigate targeted disciplinary core ideas using the science and engineering practices. They connect the core ideas across the disciplines of science through the cross-cutting concepts. The FOSS correlations to the standards are provided in your sample that you received a couple of weeks ago. At the top of the page, you will see a purple section which lists the performance expectations and the FOSS assessments that elicit observable evidence of student progress toward the performance expectation. In the lower half of the page, the FOSS investigations are aligned to the 3 dimensions. In the teacher toolkits, you will find a spiral-bound investigation guide, or TE, the FOSS Science Resources Book, or Student Edition, and the ThinkLink account username and password to access the digital resources for evaluating the alignment. As you can see, FOSS provides multiple exposures to the 3 dimensions for deep learning and to support all students. FOSS makes students the active investigators, working and thinking like scientists. Students will use durable, hands-on equipment, intriguing organisms, interactive digital resources, and will figure out relevant, real-world systems. The trusted FOSS approach is proven to be successful with all students. We know research tells us students learn best by doing, so FOSS puts students at the center of learning through hands-on, active investigations in which they use science and engineering practices. They process the experiences through ELA and math skills and concepts when they gather data and construct explanations, as well as engage with a variety of high-quality tasks to develop collaboration and critical thinking skills. This design gives students multiple exposures to core ideas and addresses different learning styles. In active investigation, the context of an inquiry can be established with a focus question about a phenomenon or a challenge from you and from students. In this investigation from electromagnetic force, a scenario is proposed to students as a challenge. Students can watch a video from their interactive ebook of a junkyard crane picking up and depositing scrap. Next, students develop and share questions based on their observations to conduct investigations that seek answers to their questions. Students begin to construct explanations to questions by conducting investigations in collaborative groups to make observations and gather data. By engaging all students in a shared experience, you level the playing field and provide access and equitable experiences for all your learners. During and after their work with materials, students record data in their notebooks. Students then organize data so that the data will be easier to think about. Then they process some of the data into graphs, providing a visual display of numerical data. After students collect and analyze data, they participate in sense-making. Sense-making is more than just sharing what they did or observed. It is analysis, finding connections and relationships in the data to construct knowledge. The discussion allows all your students to develop conceptual models about phenomena, and it prepares them to respond to or build on their responses to the FOSS focus question. Online activities throughout the course provide students with opportunities to collect data, manipulate variables, and explore models and simulations beyond what can be done in the classroom. Readings are included in the FOSS Science Resources. Students read articles to extend their learning and to access data and information for use in investigations. FOSS aims to build student competence by exploring the core ideas in the context of real-world applications. Students explore local environments, conduct science activities in their schoolyard, and identify cause and effect of human impact. Engineering activities are embedded into the flow of the investigations. They aren't treated as optional projects. We ask students to consider problem-solving and engineering challenges with clear criteria and constraints, so they can apply the practices and core ideas to solve problems. Our future-ready students make connections to what they are learning to the careers that are available in the Science and Engineering Careers database. They can explore profiles of scientists and engineers to see what they study and the different backgrounds that they come from. FOSS believes that behind successful students is a robust assessment system that promotes a growth mindset, and supports them in their learning process. FOSS provides field-tested formative and summative assessments. Formative assessments in FOSS are based on your students' authentic work, including science notebook sheets, response sheets, and performative assessments. Summative assessments include test items that require a full range of thinking and various item types found on state tests. Summative assessments include investigation I-checks, module post-tests, and suggestions for student portfolios. Each course contains a digital assessment coding guide on FOSSWeb. The guide provides teachers with an alignment by item to the 3 dimensions, exemplar student responses, a rubric to code student responses, and next step strategies for self-reflection and remediation. On the last page of the assessment coding guide, an alignment by item to the OAS performance expectations is provided. Now, let's take a look at what you get with the FOSS program, so your students can best learn science anywhere. As you can see, students use a variety of multimodal strategies and 3 dimensions to figure out phenomena and core ideas, and develop ways of thinking identified in the cross-cutting concepts. This is the FOSS approach to creating future-ready students. Let's jump into the investigation guide, so I can show you some important features of what you will want to review. The investigation guide is in the samples you've received. It is a spiral-bound book. Each FOSS course contains its own investigation guide. When you browse the investigations guide, you'll notice it's divided into sections with tabs. Let's turn to the Overview tab. The course storyline and driving question is found on page 1 of the Overview section of each investigation guide. Turning to pages 2 to 3, the course matrix serves as a table of contents for the teacher. By reviewing the investigation summaries, you will see how students progress through the course in a way that systematically builds on previous knowledge. You will also find questions that guide and set purpose for learning, alignment to the DCIs, and performance expectations. Next, let's turn to the Framework and NGSS tab. The FOSS instructional segments interact through carefully designed learning progressions. The learning progressions support students as they build their understanding of the disciplinary core ideas over the course of their K-8 science experience. The content sequence chart found in the Framework chapter highlights the learning progression and provides all K-8 teachers with an overview of the science core ideas students learn by grade, so teachers can look back and ahead in the student's science experience. Let's turn to an Investigation tab. The investigations are where you will find your detailed guidance for the lessons in FOSS. On the first page of every investigation, the Purpose page, you will find the investigation's targeted 3 dimensions and guiding question for phenomenon. If you turn the page, you'll find the investigation's at-a-glance chart. Here we will see the summary of the investigation parts which create a story for what students do and learn. An inquiry focus question for phenomena is provided for each part to frame the purpose of the investigation. If you turn the page, you will find the investigation's at-a-glance chart. Here you will see a summary of the investigation parts which create a story for what students do and learn. An inquiry focus question for phenomena is provided for each part to frame the purpose of the investigation. In the far right-hand column, you will find assessment options and the standard's performance expectations. Turning a couple more pages, you will come across Teaching and Learning About. This section discusses what students do in the investigation to develop understanding of the disciplinary core ideas. While you're going through this section, you'll see a list of SEPs that students do to investigate the core ideas, and the CCCs that describe how students think about the core ideas. The conceptual flow chart shows how the core ideas build on one another throughout the investigation to create a coherent storyline. As you continue to browse the guide, you will see the Materials page and the Getting Ready section. In the section called Guiding the Investigation, you will find detailed step-by-step procedures in blue font for conducting the investigation. On the sidebar, you will notice the dimensions at the point of implementation. As you continue through the lesson, you will find standards-aligned, three-dimensional formative assessments to help you easily monitor progress. Look for Assess Progress and What to Look for to identify the method and purpose of the assessment. The three dimensions embedded in the assessment are listed in the sidebar. Within the flow of the investigation, students gather information and evidence from text. You will find these texts highly accessible to students with high interest visual images, diagrams, and think questions. Teachers are provided critical reading comprehension strategies in the sidebars to support students in constructing meaning from text and applying to the investigation. During wrap-up, at the conclusion of every investigation, students identify key core ideas to answer the investigation guiding question for phenomenon. One goal of FOSS, we call instructional efficiency, is to make FOSS accessible, not only for students, but for teachers too. FOSS provides the tools and resources needed to deliver a science education for future-ready students. The FOSS Equipment Kit is included as part of the core program, as it is the key to engagement and experience. The package includes the teacher and student materials, online resources and tools for planning, instruction, and assessment. FOSS provides a full complement of Spanish resources to support biliteracy initiatives, such as the student text in print, digital, and audio, and other supports such as word wall cards, photo equipment cards, and teaching slides for every lesson. FOSS provides unparalleled ELA and English language development resources. These include ELA notes written at the point of use in the investigations guide and strategies for reading, writing, listening, and speaking. ELD planning tool is used to develop language lessons, and menus of strategies by ELD standard and by level of language development help differentiate support for students. FOSS technology enriches learning anywhere. FOSS supports teachers with tips for designing remote learning, comprehensive planning matrices, student investigation videos with English and Spanish text, Google Docs notebooks masters, and teaching slides. FOSS gives students access to the interactive ebooks, streaming videos, simulations, and virtual investigations, and new at-home activities. The adaptable FOSS integrated approach of authentic investigation and ELA propels learning across the curriculum and supports accelerated learning to combat time lost due to the pandemic. With the FOSS ebook app, your students can read anywhere they want. Available in the Apple Store and on Google Play, the ebooks are downloadable in a variety of devices, and most of the features can be used without an internet connection, so that connectivity is less of an issue. FOSS digital resources are housed on ThinkLink, our fully compliant cloud-based platform. ThinkLink provides the required tools that schools and districts want, including rostering and LMS integration, to open up access to all students. In your review packet, you should have received a username and password specific to you and directions for signing into ThinkLink. Let's watch a walkthrough video so you can navigate all of the resources digitally for your review.
To access the FOSS Next Generation digital resources, go to thinklink.schoolspecialty.com. From the homepage, click on Login. Then, click on Login with ThinkLink. As a trial access user, go to Organizational Type and select Trial User. Enter the username and password that you've been given. Each account is only good for one person. After you've entered the information, click Login. You'll see the program FOSS Next Generation, and it'll come to the teacher dashboard. If the dashboard does not have any courses listed, like I do here, click on Content, select Course Catalog, and use the filter to select which grade that you would like to look at. Once you click Apply, the courses will appear in the dashboard. What does a teacher see when they review a module? I'm going to click on the Preview button under Chemical Interactions. The resources are organized in a single column and are well labeled. The first resource is the investigation guide. This is a PDF-based investigation guide, similar to the print version of the investigation guide. You can also view the interactive student ebook, and you can view that in English and Spanish. The interactive ebook has text-to-speech features, note-taking features, and embedded multimedia like streaming videos and simulations. Under the Assessment tab, you can get the coding guide, which includes all of the iChecks and summative assessments, as well as answer keys and next step strategies, and rubrics for constructed response items. To look at the investigation resources, go to Investigation 1. This one's for substances, and that investigation is broken down into 2 parts. There's the teacher preparation video to help you prepare the lesson and see what students will be doing and learning. There are teaching slides. These are editable PowerPoints in English and in Spanish. You should download those and take a look at them. Anytime there's a notebook master or a teacher master, you will find those located here in English and in Spanish, as well as assessments. Our remote learning videos show hands-on activities that are found in the investigation. These can be used in asynchronous or synchronous settings. You may choose to use them following the hands-on activity to have students make additional observations, or you could use them as part of a flipped classroom and have students review the videos prior to coming to class. Now let's take a look at the student view and some of the resources. When the students log in to ThinkLink and to the FOSS resources through Clever, they will open up the module to see the details. This includes the student's interactive ebook available in English and in Spanish. I want to take a look at that over here. This is the Diversity of Life ebook. You'll notice that the student ebooks are not text heavy. to allow for students to access the information no matter what their reading level. You'll see different features like our widgets, which are typically diagrams that'll open up and students can practice by dragging vocabulary into the diagram. We also have links to multimedia, simulations and some videos. We have text-to-speech features, as well as embedded videos throughout the student ebook. There are also note-taking features, so kids can highlight, put in like a sticky note to leave notes. They can draw, just to really bring the interactive reading experience to life. Easy organization of the student resources. It's done by investigation and by part. All of the resources that are available to students are controlled by you. You can choose to show them all of the resources in the module. You can choose to hide all of the resources in the module and then just create an assignment when the time is right for using that resource. There are also family resources that you'll find at the bottom of the student's view, which includes homeschool connections, as well as everyday outside challenges, and a look at careers in science and engineering that students can research. As you can see, the resources for students are easily accessible and simply organized for easy use.
We've talked about what FOSS is, who developed the program, how it aligns to standards, where components and features are located. But in the end, the most important question to ask is, why FOSS? From our years of experience working in classrooms with real teachers and students, we know engagement is the gatekeeper to learning. We know students get excited about science and engineering when they do it together, not just read about it or view it on a screen. We've learned that common experiences level the playing field in an era where disparity among student groups grows wider and wider. And today, more than ever, we need to give all students a chance to be future ready, and critical to doing that is science, engineering, collaboration, and critical thinking. It's been a pleasure to present the FOSS program to you today. Thank you for your time. To request a presentation and samples or for general questions about FOSS, please contact Randy Morris or Kathy LaRossi, your South Carolina FOSS sales team.